Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is session 5 in my Intro to Yoga series. And congratulations, you're more than halfway through the 8-part series, so that's awesome. And we are now moving forward from the yamas and the niyamas, these sort of philosophical foundation of the practice of yoga. And now we're moving into the next 2 limbs of Ashtanga, which are limb 3, Asana, and limb 4, Pranayama. So Asana is what we've already been doing. These are the physical postures of yoga. It literally means seat. But you can think of it as the position that our body is in, or posture that our body is in when we practice yoga. So that one, we're already doing it. But Pranayama is breathing practices. So prana is a word that means energy and breath and life force, and yama means control. So it's this ability to kind of be conscious and be mindful about the way we're breathing in order to regulate our energy in our body. So let's get started. So you can come down onto your back to begin, and let's come onto our backs with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. As you come down, go ahead and place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. I like to have it left hand on my chest because then it's by the heart, and that's always lovely. And you can either have your knees pointing straight up, or I like to have my feet a little wider than my hips and then let my knees drop together in this little tent shape, because that'll relax through the hip flexors and the lower back a little more. But wherever your legs are at, go ahead, close your eyes. And the first breathing practice that we're going to take is diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing. So I think that it is not insignificant that the practice of yoga begins with sort of these lifestyle and these philosophical principles first, that's our foundation. So we've sort of been cheating a little by doing asana throughout. But pranayama comes after asana. Breathing is a kind of the next level of depth to our practice. So as you breathe, noticing how your hands are moving, if you feel a lot of movement happening under your top hand at your chest, see what you can do to allow the movement to skip past the chest a little more and go right down into the belly. So that as you breathe in, the belly is going to expand and open. As you breathe out, it will soften back in. A lot of us have a lot of psychological and emotional resistance towards belly breathing. We feel like our belly needs to be tight, it needs to be small or flat. But all of those things are really counter to what our belly should be. Bellies were made to be hard, they would have a rib cage over them. They are made to be soft. We have all these organs in here that need movement in order to function well. And when you have things that are rigid, that are hard, you're going to impinge that movement. Our belly also needs to be soft so that that diaphragm muscle that lives at the base of our lungs can fully do its job. And when we inhale that diaphragm muscle, it's a dome shape, it pushes down. Our belly needs to get out of the way. If our belly is too tight and we can't get movement with the breath, then we're locking out from that deeper breathing. The lungs have more blood vessels on the bottom, they're bigger on the bottom. We need that diaphragmatic movement to get the oxygen to the lowest part of our lungs. That's a long explanation for when you inhale, the belly should rise and open. When you exhale, let it soften back in. So just a couple more breaths to really explore that, because this is our foundational breathing practice. Everything that we do in our pranayama practice comes from this. And then as you're ready, just slowly open your eyes, let your arms rest at your sides. You're going to separate your feet a little wider than your hips. if they're not already. And we're just going to take some very gentle windshield wipers. So exhale, let the knees drop down. Inhale as they come back up. Exhale as they drop down to the other side. Moving nice and slow. Let the breath lead, let the body follow. Maybe turning your head in the opposite direction of the knees if that feels good. Finding just that nice slow belly breathing. And then from here, you're going to just gently roll all the way to one side and make your way up to hands and knees. As you come to hands and knees, once again, you're going to spread your fingers, ground through the palms of the hands, and we're going to move now through cat and cow, but we're going to practice another breathing technique as we do it called the Ujjayi breath, or the victorious breath. So the Ujjayi breath is made by just a very gentle constriction in your throat. It's the same muscle effort we would do if we were going to fog up a mirror, like that kind of movement, or that kind of constriction. But we do it breathing in and out through the nose, and we do it on both the inhale and the exhale. A lot of teachers like to really make this loud sound, and they like to encourage the class to, be super loud with their Ujjayi breath. I prefer to keep it a little bit gentler. So as you exhale through the nose and find your cat, you're just going to create that little bit of sound that goes along with it. And then as you inhale, finding cow, just that little gentle constriction in the throat. It should be quiet enough that you can hear, or loud enough that you can hear it, but doesn't have to be loud enough for anyone else to hear it. So at your own pace, just stay with this cat and cow. And notice how when you do that Ujjayi breath, that little gentle constriction in your throat, how it slows the breath down, which is the whole point behind the Ujjayi breath. It slows our breath down so that we can slow our movement down, so that we can slow our mind down. But when we slow our breath and slow our movement, it allows for deeper oxygenation of our blood. It gives us more energy. This is a great breathing practice when you're feeling tired, when you feel lacking in energy. And we're going to try and keep this Ujjayi breath going throughout the practice. I'll tell you when it's time to let it go. So see what you can do to keep it going. On the next inhale, go ahead and come back to a flat back. And then exhale, child's pose. Let your hips go wide. Your knees go wide. Let your hips sit back. And your arms are going to reach forward if that's comfortable. Let your head drop down. And then from child's pose, go ahead and walk your hands over to the left, a couple of handprints. As the hands walk to the left, now feel your hips pull back into the right, and then drop your head down. And what you want to feel is this opening through the right rib cage, the right waist, the right side body. And see if you can use that slow Ujjayi breath to really press in between the ribs, to open up through that right side of the rib cage. They call them the intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs. You can think of it like a fan opening up on that right side. And now take the other side, walk the hands over to the right and the hips back into the left. Let your head drop down. It may or may not touch the floor, it doesn't matter so much. But now we want to feel that breath in through the left rib cage, opening on the inhale, softening on the exhale. Like a fan or an accordion opening on that left side. And then take the hands back to center. And now see if you can feel that breath opening into the sides and the back of the rib cage equally. And then from here, we're going to move into downward facing dog. So you're going to reach forward through your hands, lift through your hips. And to start out in down dog, go ahead and just walk your feet in place. So you bend one knee and then the other, kind of reaching the opposite heel towards the floor, as if you're walking in place. Just feeling that loosening up through the calves, the feet, the hips. At the same time, notice if all the weight is starting to get onto your wrists, and think about spreading it out. Use the whole palm of the hand. And then go ahead and lift both heels up away from the floor. Feel that deep stretch through your big toes, through the soles of your feet, and then you're going to pivot your heels over to the left. As they pivot to the left, you can keep the legs straight or you can bend through that left knee. Either way, you're going to feel this deep opening through the right side of your rib cage, the right side of your waist. And again, think about pressing your breath into those ribs. Seeing if you can open deeper with your breath as well as with the pose. And then taking the other side, lift the heels, pivot them over to the right, and bend the right knee. So now you're going to feel that same opening through the left rib cage, left side waist. Use your breath to get that deeper breathing, that deeper opening in through the ribs. And then back to center. From here, inhale, come forward for plank pose. Create length in the body. And then exhale, slowly lower knees, chest, and chin. And we'll come on up for Cobra Pose. Point the toes, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And as you breathe in Cobra, make sure that the breath isn't pulling up into your chest. Maybe see if you can feel your belly against the earth, breathing. Feel the breath moving into the side of the rib cage, into the lower back. And then tuck the elbows, rise to hands and knees, and exhale, child's pose. Let it all go, let the arms relax. Coming back to that deep, slow Ujjayi breath. And then moving back up into downward facing dog. Only this time we're going to use down dog as just a little way station to take us into a forward fold at the top of the mat. So you're going to bend your knees, let your body hang. You can either let the arms just be loose or you can hold opposite elbow. And as you breathe here, once again, feel the breath moving through the back, through the ribs. And from the forward fold, go ahead and reach forward from your heart, rising on up. Think of flat back, like a reverse swan dive. And exhale, hands come to the heart. From here, go ahead, step the feet to gently touch. Soften through the shoulders. And we're going to really draw deep into that Ujjayi breath, into that victorious breath, that very gentle constriction in the back of the throat. And we're going to use that slow Ujjayi breath to take us from one pose to the other. Moving through what they call a sun salutation, salute to the sun. Lots of variations on sun salutations. We're just going to do one kind today. From here, you're going to inhale, circle your arms up overhead. On an exhale, it's a swan dive coming forward. You can let the arms release out. I run into my dresser, but hopefully you've got more space. Inhale, lift through the heart. It's okay to bring your hands up to your thighs or bend your knees as you step back through the left foot. Exhale, find that lunge on the left side. Inhale, step back into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin gently lower. Slow the breath down. Inhale for Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here, let your head hang, your knees can be bent. Get the weight off the arms. On the next inhale, you're going to step your left foot forward into a lunge. And then exhale, both feet together at the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, the heart leads, rise it on up, find your reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to the heart. Once again, inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, heart lifts. This time, right foot steps back as you exhale. Find that lunge. Inhale, find plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Hear that Ujjayi breath. It doesn't have to be loud. Just slow down the breath in your throat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Exhale, bend the knees. Step the right foot forward. Lift through the heart. Exhale, feet together at the front of the mat. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Once more to each side. Inhale, circle through the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot steps back. Find the lunge, lift through your heart. And then exhale, plank pose. We've got the breath reversed somehow. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, lift the heart, Cobra Pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuning into that breath, listen for the sound. Slow it down. And then from here, left foot steps forward. Inhale, find the lunge. Exhale, feet to touch. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last side. Inhale, circle. And exhale, fold. Inhale, where are we at? Right foot steps back. That's it, right foot. Exhale, plank. Inhaling here. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax the head. Inhale, left foot steps forward, find the lunge. Exhale, feet together. Folding forward. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Go ahead, close the eyes from here. Listen to the breath. Relax shoulders away from the ears. Find that grounding through the four corners of your feet. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead. And exhale, bend your knees, little swan dive to come back into a bent knee forward fold. Let your body just really hang. And then go ahead and step it back, coming all the way down to child's pose. From child's pose, let everything soften. And from here, you can let go of the Ujjayi breath. Just come back to that natural breath. And as you're ready, come on up to seated. And we're going to move through another breathing practice, another pranayama. So if you want, you can find something to prop up on, a folded blanket, a pillow, a yoga bolster if you've got one. Then you're going to come to sit into a comfortable cross-legged position, or another option would be to sit in what we call Thunderbolts. It's a variation on Hero's Pose For Thunderbolts, you can sit back onto your heels, or if this is not feeling supportive for your body and you have a pillow or a bolster or something, this is actually easier to see from behind. We're going to bring the bolster so that you sit with your knees in front. The bolster will be in between your calves and you sit back to rest on it that way. So however you're comfortable sitting, I'm going to go in that supported Thunderbolt. Ideally the knees touch in front. But find a comfortable seated position. It can be sitting in a chair too. And we're going to practice alternate nostril breathing. So for this one, I'm not going to reverse my left and my right because it's important that I practice it with my correct side as well. So don't use my mirror image with this. Use your own right and left. But you're going to take your right hand and you're going to bring the first two fingers to the pad of your thumb. From there, your right thumb is going to close off your right nostril. And you're going to exhale all the air out of your left nostril. From there, on a count of 3, try and inhale for a count of 3 through the left. At the height of that inhale, you're going to close off both nostrils. And then open the right and exhale, ideally for a count of 6 if you can, through the right nostril. And then inhale for a count of 3 through the right. Close them both off. And then open and exhale for a count of 6 out the left. Alternate nostril breathing. So you're going to, at your own pace, inhale for a count of 3 through the left. Close them off. And exhale for a count of 6. Inhale for a count of 3 or maybe 4 if it feels comfortable to lengthen it. Close them both off and exhale for a count of 6, maybe even 8 if you can. So keep practicing that. So this is alternate nostril breathing. And what this is doing, besides clearing our nasal passages, is it's also clearing those energetic channels through the body. So remember I said prana means both breath and it means a particular kind of energy in yogic practice. So when we do this alternate nostril breathing, there are these little kind of intersecting energy channels that go from the right nostril and the left nostril all the way down to the base of our being, which is our kind of chakras. So these nadis are these channels. Places where they crisscross are the major chakras or energy channels in the body. So it's like we're kind of cleansing the path of energy through the body. So wherever you're at, keep going with this alternate nostril breathing until you come back to exhaling out that left side. So keep going with wherever you're at, but when you come back to that left side, go ahead, exhale all the way out, and then you're going to relax the arm down. From there, take a moment to just close your eyes. Whenever you're ready, you can catch up with us. And just once again, come back to that belly breathing. It might help to take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And just feel that slow, gentle movement through the belly. Softening the chest. Less movement up here, more movement down at the tummy. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. And let's release the legs. So if you were sitting in that Thunderbolt pose, Vajrasana, you can take the support out. And we're going to come to sit now with our legs extended. As the legs extend, again, if you want some support under you, oftentimes a folded blanket or two can be great, especially if when you extend the legs, if you can't sit up tall, it means you need support. From here, go ahead and take the right foot and we're going to pull it back so that your right foot, the inside of the leg, or inside of the foot comes, the sole of the foot comes to the inside of the left leg. How's that? We're going to inhale, lift really tall through the body, and then exhale any amount. We're just going to lean forward a little bit through this left side. Inhale, rise it back up. And now go ahead, take the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee, and we're going to twist to the right. If you feel as you twist that left hip starts coming up off the ground, think about softening it back down. And then we're going to unwind the twist part way Take that left hand to the inside of the knee, and now the right arm is going to lift up and over. So it's a little bit of a twist, it's a little bit of a bend, and it's a little bit of a heart opener or a back bend. You just slide this left arm down the leg as far as it can comfortably go, and imagine that you could turn your heart towards the sky. From there, see what you can do to get the breath low in the body. Think about breathing into the belly, especially into that right rib cage, right lower back. Inhale, rise it back up, and we'll take the other side. Now you can straighten the right leg out. Left foot comes back with the sole of the foot to the inside of the leg. We're going to lift tall on the inhale and fold on the exhale. Any amount. You don't have to go very far. And a fold can also mean bend the knee and bring your knee towards your heart. You just want to keep that nice flat back, no pain or strain into the lower back. Notice if you're breathing in your chest, try and get it lower. And then inhale, rise it up. And now we're going to twist it over to the left. So the back of the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. And as you twist, if that right hip starts coming up, think of softening it back down. Really doesn't matter how far into the twist you get. Just think about staying tall, staying supported. And then as you unwind, go ahead and take the inside of that right hand to the inner right leg, and the left arm is going to lift up. And again, we think of this as it's partially a bend over the leg, it's partially a heart opener or a back bend to the sky, and it's a little bit of a side bend as well, bending to that right side. Wherever we're at, we're opening and breathing into these left ribs, left belly, left back. Inhale, come all the way back up. Go ahead, straighten out both legs, lifting tall on the inhale and folding forward on the exhale. And again, to keep the back flat, maybe the forward fold for you is just bend the knees and fold from there. That also works. And just feeling that deep but gentle stretch along the whole back line of the body, from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head, but without overly rounding or straining in the back. Just the sense of elongating and opening. And at the same time, let the breath stay low in the body, let it stay slow. Inhale to rise back up. And then from here, you can come all the way down onto your back. Go ahead, hug the knees, gently rock side to side. And we'll take it into just that really relaxed twist. So you can scoot your hips over to the right one little step, let the legs roll to the left, arms are going to open. You can look right, left, anywhere in between. You can keep your knees apart. You can stack your knees. Just make sure the right shoulder as always stays connected to the ground. And let your body melt. And as it melts, again, feel your breath dropping lower and slower into your body. Trying to breathe into your lower back, into your hips. And coming back up, scoot your hips back to midline, and then scoot them over to the left, and take the knees to the right. And again, you can take any variation of knees apart or together. Just make sure that that left shoulder stays grounded. Head can turn any direction. And as the cats wander in and out of the screen, cats and dogs are actually great examples of that deep belly breathing. If you ever watch a pet sleep, you can see how much movement of the breath works down into their belly. Babies do it too. And then coming back up. Scoot the hips back to midline. Hug the knees to the chest. And you can either take just that traditional Shavasana that we've done in the past, where you just let your body relax down. Or if you happen to have some props handy, we can build into a really nice version of Shavasana. It's a restorative pose, which in yoga, restorative means that you're going to relax in the pose, that you're not going to do work, that it's going to replenish your energy rather than drain it. So you can use a couple folded blankets, folded into this sort of rectangle shape. And often if you're using folded blankets, you want to add an extra pillow at the top. Or if you've got the yoga props and you want to use a bolster, let's move the blankets aside, a bolster and a block, that can be nice too. So the bolster and the block version, you're going to prop it up into a little bit of an inclined plane. And then you sit back and rest back. Let your arms, the palms of the hands face upward, let your eyes close. So if you've got the gear, you can do that. If you don't have the gear, you take those folded blankets and you create that same position. Resting back, scooting up. And if you don't have a pillow handy, a nice little hack is to take whatever the blanket is on the top and just kind of roll it up an extra time. And then rest your head on that. Arms open at your sides, eyes are closed. If you need more support under your knees, you can throw another rolled blanket under your knees. But whatever version you're taking, even if it's just lying on the ground, once again, we just want to tune in with what the breath is doing. If you're in one of these restorative poses, maybe feeling how this position is going to open up through that lower rib cage, through the solar plexus, through the belly, to allow a deeper breath to drop into those areas. With every exhale, let your body just melt a little bit deeper. Exhalations are a great practice of letting go. To exhale, we don't have to contract any one muscle. It's just about slow relaxation of that diaphragm muscle at the base of the rib cage, base of the lungs. So it's a great opportunity to let go of tension anywhere in the body where it might be living. Creating this awareness of this low, slow belly breathing is also a great way to practice mindfulness, a great way to stay connected to the present moment, which is going to carry us through the next few sessions. And as always, you can pause the video if your body wants to stay longer. But whenever you're ready to come out, you can wiggle fingers and toes. Circle wrists, circle ankles. Let those small movements just gradually and organically grow into any kind of stretching or moving that feels good. As you're ready, gently roll to one side. If you're propped up, you can either rest onto those props or you can just rest on the floor. Eventually coming all the way back up to sit. Well, thank you for practicing some asana and some pranayama with me today. It's going to be really fun from here on out. We're going to move more now into the meditative aspects of yoga, learning about how to create a sense of moving meditation through yoga. So that's where we're headed in the next 3 sessions. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them as comments too. That is a great way to get them answered as you move through this journey of learning more about yoga and what it can do for you and your body. But I hope you feel great and that you're having a wonderful time wherever you are in the world, in your life. And yes, have a great day. Thank you. Namaste.